Hey, 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 it's your girl Talia, and I'm ready for you to invade my space. Welcome to Talia's Space, y'all. Welcome to the Look Good, Feel Good, Be Good podcast, where we gonna talk about everything. You hear me? We gonna laugh, we gonna cry, and most of all, we gonna love on each other, y'all. Let's talk. What's up, my social media family, and welcome to the Look Good, Feel Good, Be Good podcast. Okay, welcome to Talia Space, y'all. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. I hope your Monday was great. I hope when you woke up this morning that you had a great feeling. Okay, I hope that you spread love on today. I hope that you hugged somebody that need to be hugged. I hope you paid it forward today. Pay for somebody meal, somebody lunch, or dinner. I hope that you was being a good person today. Okay? Because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you can be a good person. Okay? So I want you guys to go ahead, go get your juice, go get your water, go get your tea, go get your Kool-Aid, go get your wine. Because we're going to talk down tonight, y'all. Okay? I hope you guys have been having a great day, but I hope that you guys have been listening to the last couple of podcasts. You know that we are in the series of love and marriage. Okay. We got a couple of more episodes to go with this topic, but I've been getting a lot of feedback and I'm happy that I can help you guys. I'm happy that I can be a voice in marriage these days. And if it's not helping anybody, it's helping me. Okay. So on tonight, we've been talking about love and marriage, and I don't know if I mentioned this on any of the other podcasts, but the title of Love and Marriage came from, the show back in the day with Al Bundy. Love and marriage, love and marriage. Y'all remember that? Goes together like a horse and carriage. Yeah, so if you did watch it, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, go look it up. I'm pretty sure you can find it. But yeah, we've been talking about love and marriage, but tonight I'm going to talk about lost in marriage. Okay, lost in marriage. I know you like, what is she talking about? But I just have a question. Have anybody ever felt lost in their marriage? Like you didn't know who you was. You didn't know if you was being the spouse that you were supposed to be. Like you didn't know your identity, and it was hard. And then you had to start finding yourself in marriage. Anybody been there? I've been there where I had to start finding myself in marriage. I had to start finding out who I was and the person that I was when I came into the marriage. I didn't like. I didn't know that person. Um, it was hard to come to grips with who I was, and my husband. I felt like maybe got the short end of the stick when it came to the beginning of the marriage because I didn't know who I was. I was lost inside of my marriage and trying to find me while being a wife, while being a mother, while being a daughter, while being a church member, while being an employee. I had to find out who Talia was. I did not know who she was. Even when I looked in the mirror, I still didn't know who I was, and I was still functioning as a wife, as a mother, as all these different titles, and still not knowing who I was. And so during the course of our marriage, the first couple of years, I know the first maybe 5 years, I did not know who I was. I was so lost. And most of that because I had came from a difficult relationship. I came from a bad relationship, and it kind of tore me down. Not kind of, but it did. It tore me down to where I didn't know my identity anymore. And I met a man that loved me so much that he still wanted to marry me. He still wanted to do life with me, even though I was lost. And I know that was hard for him because although he's trying to help me and he's trying to, be the husband that he was called to be, he had to play different roles in my life because I didn't know who I was. He had to come and almost be like a healer to some of the open wounds that I had because before I got married, those wounds weren't healed. And I brought that over into my marriage. And because I was lost, I was beginning to raise a lost family. I don't know if you guys know that wives play a real important part in a marriage, in a family. Okay? We play an important role. If something is off, if we're off, more than likely the whole family is off. So because I was lost, I was raising lost children. I was having a lost marriage. I was building a lost foundation, a shaky foundation, all because I did not know who I was. I was lost inside of my marriage, and my husband didn't have a clue of how to help me. He was trying, he was doing all that he was supposed to do as a husband, but it was something that was within me. He was not able to fix that. That was something that was between me and God. And I had to look at him and I had to look at my children and I had to look at myself, and I wasn't pleased. I wasn't happy because I was feeling like I was lost. I was feeling like I was in the dark. I was feeling like I had to fight my way through. Like I was in the woods and I didn't know how to get back home inside of my marriage. Do you know how many fights that caused? Do you know how many nights that me and my husband slept on the opposite ends of the bed because I was lost? Do you know how hard it was to raise my daughters and my sons because I was lost? How can you raise children in a lost state? How can you be the wife that you were called to be if you're lost? I know I'm not the only one. There are so many things that happen in our lives. There are so many things that take place in our lives that cause us to be lost. And what I should have done was got myself together before I got married, but I didn't do that. I walked into the marriage lost. I said I do lost. I moved into the home with my husband lost. We created a family while the mother was lost. There was so much pain in me. There was so much hurt in me. I was going through depression. I was lost. And my husband, although he was being the head of the household, it was taking a toll upon him because he has his own battles to fight. Because don't get me wrong, we're two different people. We're two individuals, and he has his issues. I have mine. But do you know anytime that you have your issues, but you have someone and their issues is up here, it drains you. So I know that I was draining my husband because he didn't understand why some of the things that were happening in our marriage was happening. I was lost. Let, let, let's get down. Let's get down to business because I want to be open and transparent with you guys, okay? I walked into my marriage and I was lost. Um, I went through a season of my life where I didn't like what I saw in the mirror. I hated myself. I didn't think I was beautiful. I didn't think I didn't love the skin that I was in. I felt like I was too skinny. Um, I felt like I was an ugly person. I felt like I wasn't smart. I felt like I didn't have any my creativity was completely gone. And this happened because of what somebody had planted inside of me. And it took root and it started to grow. And it began to grow way before I even met my husband. That's why I say I was lost before I met him. I didn't know who I was before I met him. And so I got into this marriage and my husband is telling me how beautiful I am and how he liked my body, and I'm looking at him as if he's lying to me. I'm not believing anything that he's saying to me because I didn't believe it within me. I was lost within myself. He's telling me all the things that he sees in me, and because I don't see them for myself, my husband is looking like a liar to me. Now, he wasn't a liar, but that's what it looked like because I felt like I've heard this so many times. I heard that I wasn't smart. I heard that I was stupid. I heard that I wasn't good enough. I heard that I wasn't beautiful enough. I heard that I was too skinny. I heard all these things for you to come in and tell me the opposite, I don't believe you. Not because he was lying or not because I felt like he was just saying something. I was lost. I didn't even want my husband to touch me. I was lost. When we got married, I felt like that now that we're married, we're coming together. I felt like I wouldn't feel so lost. I wouldn't feel so alone because I have someone here that cares so much about me and looks at me through a whole different light. But I couldn't get past my past, and it damaged me, and it damaged my marriage in the beginning. It put a damper on things. It took us through a journey that we didn't have to go through if I knew myself, if I had found myself. But I couldn't do that in the state that I was in. It was rough, it was harsh, and it took everything in me just to get out. It took everything in my husband to pull me out of this thing. He had to tell me, I'm not the people that said that to you. I'm not the person that made you this way. When I tell you something, I need you to believe it because that's what I see in you. And every day he was pumping positivity in a lost person. Every day he would call me and he would say something positive. He still do that to this day. But I didn't know how to receive it. I didn't know how to receive the things that he was giving me because I was still lost. I was looking out and I was seeing this man that looked at me differently, and I couldn't understand what he saw. I couldn't understand why he chose me to be his good thing. I couldn't understand, out of all the people, out of all the women in the world, why would you choose me? Why not? I hope I'm helping a woman out there because we get in these situations and we're so lost by depression. We're lost by um, insecurity. We're lost by unforgiveness. We're lost by holding in bitterness. We're lost by holding in grudges. We're lost by holding on to our past. Like, when are you going to find yourself? It's hard finding yourself in marriage. It can be done because I did it, but it was hard because I always had to suppress my feelings and be the wife that I'm supposed to be. Suppress my feelings and be the mother that I'm supposed to be. Suppress my feelings and making sure that whoever I'm around don't see what I'm going through or can't feel what I'm going through. I had to suppress my feelings and be a daughter to my mom. I had to suppress my feelings and be an employee. So every time I turned around, I kept sweeping things up under the rug. I never dealt with it. I never dealt with my past. I never dealt with what happened to me. I never dealt with feeling lost. And it got to a place to where I started losing myself in my marriage. And my husband is doing everything he can to make sure that I don't. He's doing everything that he can to pull me up from sinking. He's doing everything he can to make sure that I'm not drowning underwater. But isn't it draining? What if I knew who I was when he met me? Some of the things that we went through, we probably wouldn't have gone through had I known who I was. Had I have found myself. And don't get me wrong, I've been in church all my life. I'm a preacher's daughter. So don't get me wrong, I know God. I knew who he was when I was lost. But it was even hard for me to find him because I didn't even believe in his word, what he said about me. I didn't believe in my talents. I didn't believe in my gifts. I didn't believe in him, gifting me to be a mother. I didn't understand how I could become a mom with who I was. I didn't understand how I could be this person that you called me to be. I'm so lost. And then I started talking to my husband, letting him know what was going on, letting him come in to this journey that I was on. And he's walking with me, walking beside me, making sure that my head is always held high, making sure that I'm thinking the utmost when it comes to myself, making sure, let me tell y'all something. I'm telling you, I was lost. I didn't want to eat. When I met my husband, I was probably 117 pounds. I didn't want to eat. I went days without eating, sleepless nights, panic attacks, all because I was lost. I didn't know who I was. But I had a mate that was there, that was praying for me every time I was going through panic attacks. That was praying for me every time that I got stressed out because of things that was happening in my past. Every time something came up, every time that I needed him, he was there to walk me through this dark tunnel that I was in. Him and God. There was a light at the end of the tunnel because of him, because of God. I don't know if I would have made it out the way that I did if it wasn't for my husband and God. But I'm telling you, feeling lost in a marriage or being lost before you even get into the marriage and get into a marriage is rough. That person is becoming more than your spouse. pressure that I put on my husband could have broke him, but it didn't. He stood up as the king that he is and made sure that his queen never dropped her crown. He made sure that my crown never touched the floor. No matter how many times I fell off that throne beside him, he was there to pick me up. He was there to say, no, that's not you. You're smart. You're beautiful. You're creative. I would have married you if I wasn't attracted to you. I wouldn't have married you if I didn't think that you could do this. I can't do life without you. How how do you get out of being lost while you're in a marriage? How do you come through it? The first thing that you have to do is talk to God. Let him know that I'm lost. I'm in a dark place. And if you don't help me, if you don't walk me through this, I don't know how much more I can take. That's the first thing that you do when you're lost in your marriage. God, I need you to help me find me. Find the person that I'm supposed to be, so I can be a good wife to my king, so I can be a good wife to my husband, so I can be a good mother to my children, so I can be a good employee to the person that I'm working for. So I can be the best that I can be to my church home. So I can be the best that I can be with my friends. Find me in me. Show me me. Where I'm weak, you make me strong. That's the first thing. Go to God. The second thing, go to your spouse. Because sometimes we want our spouses to read our minds and they can't. They don't know what's going on with us. They don't know why we don't want to be touched. They don't know why we're having issues. They don't know why we're crying. They don't know why we have an attitude. They don't know why we don't want to be at home. They don't know. We just have an attitude. We're just beefing. We're just starting up arguments for no reason. Talk to your spouse. Let them know that I feel lost. I don't know who I am. And because I don't know who I am, I'm not able to be the wife that I'm supposed to be to you. I don't want to give you the short end of the stick. But I'm hurting. I'm damaged. I need help. I have baggage. I'm depressed. I'm upset. I'm overwhelmed. I'm stressed out. Talk to your spouse, because sometimes they think it's them and it's not them, it's me, it's you. It was me. If you don't tell them, then they don't know. If I didn't open up to my husband, then he wouldn't know how to cover me. He wouldn't know what to do. He wouldn't understand why I had such an attitude. He wouldn't understand why I'm crying for no reason. He wouldn't understand why when he asks me, have you ate something? And I say no. This man covers me. He prays for me. He embraces me. He speaks life into me. He fixes my crown. He makes sure that it never drops, that it never falls to the ground. He makes sure that I know my worth. He makes sure that I know who I am and that I don't get lost again. And if I am lost, he has the map to get me back on that road again, on that journey again, on that road to positivity, on that road to success, on that road to believing in myself. If I get lost, my husband has the map. He has the key. He knows the landmarks to show me, to make sure that I can get back home, to make sure that I can find myself. Being lost in a marriage can break your marriage. It can break you. It can break your spouse. It can break your children because you're lost. You are important in your home. You are an important factor in your home, whether you are the wife or the husband. Your attitude, your behavior can come in and change the whole tone of your home. It can change the whole atmosphere in your home. And after you tell your spouse, then tell your counselor, tell your therapist. We don't want to go to therapy. But sometimes you need a couch. I told y'all on one of my last podcasts that I opened up it to my husband. I told him, I'm not good. I'm not okay. I need to see somebody. I need to talk to somebody because I need to be good for you. And right now I'm not. I'm not good for you. I'm not good for our home. I'm not good for myself. And I need to talk to somebody that's able to get me back on track. Because even though he has the map, sometimes he needs assistance. Sometimes he needs the extra support. And that's me going to therapy. I'm telling you, find you a good counselor, somebody that you trust, that can help you in this journey, that can help you get back on track, that can help you find yourself, find who you are. You're needed in your household. But your kids can't find you if you're lost. Your husband can't find you if you're lost, especially if you haven't told him that you're lost. He don't know where to start looking. You want your spouse to come looking for you and they don't even know where to start because you haven't told them that you're lost. You just want them to get up and start looking. They don't know the first place to start. They don't know that you're suffering with depression. They don't know that that's where they need to start looking. They don't know that you have bitterness in your heart. They don't know that your past is silently eating up at you. They don't know that you're harvesting unforgiveness. They trying to help you. They want to help you. They want to look for you. But they don't know where to start because you haven't told them that you're lost. And this is me talking to you. Whether you're a man or a woman, this is me talking to you. If you are lost in your marriage or you're lost, regardless whether you're married or not, this right here is a sign. This is me telling you to tell somebody that you're lost, to open your mouth and talk to your spouse and let them know that you're lost and you need them to find you, to help find the you in you. Go to God. Talk to God. Let him know that I need your help. I need to be the best wife that I can be. I need to be the best husband that I can be. But I cannot do that if I'm lost. And I cannot be found without God. He's the first person that has to find you. And when he finds you, you will find you. Listen, this podcast was so dear to me because I want to be transparent with you. I want you guys to listen and learn. I want you guys to look good and feel good and be good. But you can't do those things if you're lost. And I want you to find you. I want you to find that entrepreneur in you. I want you to find that writer in you, that dancer in you, that mother in you, that wife in you, that sister in you, that friend in you, that millionaire in you. I want you to find you. Find that creativity. The world needs you. Your family needs you. Your husband, your wife needs you. And we need you to find you. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I hope you have learned something. I hope this pierced something into your hearts. I want you to go ahead and like, subscribe to my channel, comment, share. I want to hear from you. Let me know what you thought about tonight's podcast, okay? We're going to be doing love and marriage. We got a couple more episodes before we end this out. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I love you, and I want you to look good, feel good, and be good, okay? Good night.